In our third episode, we talked about what BAVERTIS is developing and what products they're focusing on. Hello, Manuel. We're back for the third episode. And now we're talking about the product or what BAVERTIS is exactly doing with multi-level. So what are we doing with the multi-level technology?
Yeah, right now we are building prototypes mainly. And so in the past, we have built this 10 kilowatts small car, this short body. And right now, changing to a different type of batteries. We had this PF2 cells from an automaker. And right now, the next generation is 21700 cells, which we can use for the big car with 150 kilowatts normal vehicle, and also for this enduro machinery. That's the next step on the hardware side. Software side, the charge and safety. And safety is a big issue in automotive.
So the prototypes were developed to have a final product in the end, or more to give like an proof that that the company is able to produce whatever.
This state, though, we had, I think, four generations of hardware design. Well, there was a hardware design at the beginning, which is pretty small. We get rid of the small components because they are that difficult to solve. Yeah, then component with two, but where the power electronics and the logic was separated. The improvements.
Yeah.
And right now we have this 48 volt big PCBs for 12 cells. Yeah.
When did you started with the development? Like when was the first prototype finished?
If we finish it my PhD.
Okay. Yeah.
Master thesis for the first prototypes. Julian Schneider is now working. Yeah, and then each iteration.
The next one. Yeah. Where are you now? What's possible with the current state?
The current state we have 48 volt. No, it's above. And it is possible to have 100 amps on each model, and you can stack them. We have used them to 8 stacks. Though we can generate 360 volt for the European grid, RMS 230 volt. Yeah, that's the current state. Next step is a normal vehicle and into having a lot of these modules, because in the past we had often the issue that the semiconductors had a shortage, and it wasn't possible to build that much PCB than we would like.
Okay, and this is now completely solved.
It's not completely solved. The semiconductor shortage is also, but
Yeah. When you're talking about you want to develop now an enduro machine and full cars, so you're like probably co-developing it with
co-developing. more like a POC customer. Change the mind of the customer that it is possible to drive in an efficient way, cost efficient way, vehicles or build vehicles with this. And the next step of BAVERTIS is then not doing prototypes. We want to sell the software main, having an ASIC, a MOSFET designer, and semiconductor manufacturer, which is doing the conductor side. We having the system view, can give our opinion to the customer and our software. Vehicles with this, with the.
So you're right now still focusing more on the hardware side, or like is this already the vision
side, but the hardware side will decrease in the next years, and the software side will increase, because software scales faster. For the technology, we have to convince customers, but if there are a lot of different ASICs from different semiconductor manufacturers, for the OEM, for the car producer, it is easier to change to the new approach, because they always want to have this safety on the and they want to have different sources. Dual sourcing is a big issue. Having always enough chips, something like this, it's not
for sure. When you're talking about focusing, sorry, I forgot what to ask. But we could go on with the next question I have. When BAVERTIS in 5 years is an established company, how would like the product or service look like? What is like the goal as an established company to offer to a customer?
We want offer the software and the knowledge how to build such a. We had field engineers which are telling the customers, you have to do it in this way. This semiconductor has to be placed there. You have a cell contacting system in this way, because in this inductance on the DC side, and having this knowledge, not building battery blocks. There are different companies which have the knowledge on the mechanical part, buying batteries and putting it into one pack or module, and buying from us the PCB, or the next future, but during the next years, then the customer can buy his own PCB and have just license the technology. The basic roadmap, and on the how to build the system. Now we are using PCBs. The parts are placed on. In the future, there will be an ASIC for this approach, where the driver, the communication, the intelligence is on, and the MOSFETs, which are now designed for multi-level, not for high switching applications. This would be pretty small. Maybe it will be included.
Okay. Well, what I wanted to ask before and forgot was about the intellectual property I mean, you're a research company, like we're a company that came out of research. I can imagine that also some intellectual property has been filed. How big is your stack? Are you like really wanting to save it that way?
Now we have 3 patents.
Like not received, but yeah, applicated.
We have 3 patents applicated uh, on the battery analytics side, on the production side, and how to warm batteries on. But we have to improve it. That's one of the big tasks if we have an investment, because doing patent not the cheap. And the intellectual property IP on the hardware and software side, which we have built during the last years, is the basic part of that on the bus communication, but also on system design level. To use multi-level for different features.
Okay, so I think it's the end of our third episode. Do you want to add something? The first last words are multi-level is an enabling technology.
There is an enabler technology. Yeah. There's batteries, and then medical applications.
The mobility. Then to the moon. Thank you, Manuel.